Hi, welcome to another Legion video diaries and one more full week until I actually get some time to really get a start on the alpha content. I got a very strange thing happened this week on the channel. And really don't make head nor tail of it. I know I kept saying in the past, and I think I talked about the Holy Light one last week, that, you know, I know what would make, you know, get loads of views if I could every now and then just do something that focuses on the sort of cosmetic or general aspects of the game, the stuff that everyone engages in. Demonstrated very, very succinctly with that video on the Holy Light animation. It does my head in some ways, because, you know, you do videos and you can spend like, you know, some time thinking about a video to do, like an analysis or something, or a vlog where you're sort of thinking things through, and then and you get a few thousand views, and then what happens is you do a 2-minute video on Holy Light animation going, oh, look at this. But actually, do you know what? I'm not sure about it. What do you think? 2 minutes. And it got loads of views. But the thing is, this week something really weird happened. I've got a little graphic here just to show it. It suddenly shot up. So it got loads of views already. Got like 10,000 the first week, something like that. And which was a lot more than my usual ones. I was just thinking at that time, yeah, because, you know, that's the sort of thing. If I did more of it, then, you know, it'd get more views, stuff like that. But and it sort of coincided with the new build going up for some reason. All of a sudden, people have suddenly been looking this up, even though it's not come with the latest build. It's been in for a couple of weeks. All of a sudden now, people are looking at it. I don't know why. I can't work it out. But it's shot up just this week. In fact, now it's closing in on 50,000 views. Do you know how I was complaining that very shortly, if it hasn't already happened, in fact, while I'm here, I'm going to actually check. But if it hasn't already actually happened, then I'm going to be getting very, very close to... Right, sorry, let me just click on this. 100k views on the Lord of the Rings one. In fact, it's now there. Okay, it was really close. The Lord of the Rings online video has now hit 100,000 views. My first ever 100,000 views video. And it's something that's not even World of Warcraft. It's not even like I did several videos on this. I did one. And do you know what's maddening? So I've done videos on, you know, like as a, you know, should you play this? What are the features of this game? On Elder Scrolls Online, Lord of the Rings Online, Star Wars: The Old Republic. And all of them have got more views than the average would be. But of all those three games, you would think this one would get the fewest because it has the smallest player base of those three games, as far as I can tell. Isn't it mad? Isn't it mad how these things work out? So yeah, the you know, the Holy Light one, I'll probably wake up tomorrow to find that's on 50k views. Maybe that'll be the first World of Warcraft one to be on 100k views, something that I, you know, farted out one day. And then you might sort of think to yourself, well, why don't you do one of those a week? Well, that particular one was actually very quick and easy. A lot of those sort of videos, though, if I'm going to do them in a way that I would like to do them, would probably take quite a lot of time. When it's mostly visual, when you're trying to get across something very visual, then you have to get the right footage and images and stuff like that and do something special. And it's not all as easy to demonstrate as that. But yes, I think I should make sure, because I always think that I don't want to do anything that wouldn't fit with my channel. That's just silly. But at the same time, you know, those sort of videos, anything that I'm interested in the game is worth going on the channel. But they're always lower priority. The ones where I'm sort of thinking about or doing a guide or even just discussing something are more important to me. So they always become high priority. And like I say, I've always got this huge list of videos I want to do. What eventually happens is most of those videos will just never get made, either because I just run out of time. By the time I get around to them, it's not worth doing anymore, or, as has happened a couple of times recently, because someone else has done it. So it's like, well, there's no point in me doing it now. So there's 3 such videos more recently. Like the stuff on Alliance Druids I was going to do, but then I've seen other people have done it since then, so don't bother. I might mention them at some point, but effectively I'm not going to bother. The stuff on leveling a character, in particular what to do to get it geared up level cap. Well, Preacher's doing that now, so there's no point in doing that. And the other one is like the Legion bucket list, things to do before the expansion, next expansion comes out, or potentially even the pre-expansion patch. I think there's a few people done that now, so you know, I'm definitely not going to do that because you know, if I can do a video in a way where I think to myself, well, if I were to do it, it'd be very different to the other people's, then, you know, it's still worth doing. But if not, if I've nothing else to add, then there's no point in doing it. And I've got enough to be doing anyway. So, yeah, so we're getting ready for that. And I say next week's going to be the last full week. I actually don't know that. I sort of suspect it will, though. The weather's been absolutely mental here as well, because first of all, on Friday, like I hadn't been paying attention to the weather. So on Friday, the boss was saying, oh, well, you know, check the usual things to see if the college is open on Monday. And he was saying, you know, because we've been warned about all this stuff, but it might just be the media hyping everything up. So I thought, oh, that's weird. So I checked the weather. And I checked the weather on Friday, and it still didn't... Okay, it looked like there was going to be some significant amount of snow, but it didn't look, you know, as if there'd be loads. But then on Saturday, yesterday, sure enough, it was just snowing all day. I looked out, you know, about 3 o'clock in the morning, because I was still awake then, because I'd had a nap on Saturday, which is always a stupid thing to do. So now I couldn't get to sleep at normal time. And I was looking out then, it was just blanketed in snow. I thought, oh. And I looked at the forecast. So 3 o'clock this morning, I was looking at the forecast, and it was forecast for another 3 to 6 centimetres of snow. And I thought to myself, well, if that happens, it's probably going to be closed. And but then by the morning, it looked a bit better. It certainly didn't look like it had snowed anymore. And then I looked at the forecast again. The forecast had completely changed its mind. So 7 hours later, it's completely changed its mind. Now it's, yeah, there's probably not going to be any more snow. So I think I should be okay to get in tomorrow. But if I'm not, then that's a day off. And obviously then I'll be, you know, getting some of these videos new. Because another sort of slight change I've done, Blizzard have done their live Q&A. What I usually do with the live Q&A is just go over my thoughts with it. But then I was thinking, well, sometimes this can end up going for like 40 minutes or so. And it might be that some people are particularly interested in a particular topic and not the first topic I talk about, in which case they stop watching. So better to do a series of videos on key topics and just throw my thoughts into there. So I've already done the one on Master Loop, Personal Loop. The next one on the chopping block is going to be on classes, customizing classes, creating class, you know, characters, that sort of thing. And then there'll be other topics as well. And again, that's going to be one of those things where I will hopefully get another one done every day this week. But if it gets to be next weekend, unless I've got a burning desire to do it on one of them, I'm probably going to say, actually, do you know what? In a case of strike while the iron's hot, the iron's gone cold. I probably won't bother with those as well. So we'll see how that goes as well. And then, so yeah, this week and last week there, and then I am the week after in work, but it's only for the first 3 days, so it's Wednesday. So then I'm off on Thursday. So then, you know, and I really want a proper plan of action for Easter, as I keep saying, to really try and, you know, sort of generate some momentum, which hopefully I can keep going until summer and then charge it back up. Because it's very much, when you're fitting it all around work, a case of try and generate the momentum when I'm off, and then just try and hold it steady as she goes, and not go backwards while I'm back at work, and then try and push again the next time I'm off. So we'll see how well that works. It may or it may not. It may just be, because obviously I was been saying the growth has been quite slow over the last year. It hasn't really picked up this year either. I mean, there's no reason why an arbitrary point in a year should suddenly pick up. But we'll see if I can give it a bit of a boost. And if not, then you just sort of accept, well, it's one of those things. It's sort of reached roughly its peak. It'll probably climb slowly, but it's not going to get anywhere. And last little bit of news as well was not really news. Like, I do frequently get approached by various people to plug things on the channel, stuff like that. Now, those are safely ignored. But then there was one for a collaboration for me. Now, I've sort of asked to do various things with people and not really got anywhere. But someone was asking me, and I thought, well, obviously, if they're asking me, they're going to be quite small, so that's fair enough. And they were. But the email was very, very bad. I was talking about it on the stream tonight. I'll read it out to you. where is it? Collab request. All it says is here, Raid Radio, and then there's a Gmail account, which doesn't have the word Raid Radio in it at all. And then all it says is, hey, we are a big fan of your stuff and wonder if you may be interested in doing a collaboration. We may not be that big at the moment, but we are growing quickly and already have the big guest lined up. If you are interested, shoot us an email, we can talk over the details. Now, my first impression of that was, well, you've not said anything. You haven't said who you are. I don't even have a name to reply to. If I were to reply and say, hi, it's like, well, that's all I can say. There's no name. I'm not going to say, hi, Raid Radio. I know that's not your name. Then, yeah, they gave no details. They didn't give me a link to their stuff. So I had to look, and when I tried to Google it, I couldn't really find anything. So I was talking about on the stream. Has anyone heard of Raid Radio? So a few people looked it up, and we did actually find it. And basically, they have a presence on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. The largest of which is on YouTube, for which they have 22 subscribers. So I don't really know how they can say we're not that big at the moment, we are growing quickly. You know, it's not... I know growth isn't quick when you start a channel, but that's not that. So then I was trying to, and I'm clicking on it now as I do it, trying to look up stuff. It says friends of the show, Soul So Breezy. So we're sort of already supposing that that's what they mean by the big guest. So that's someone who's on roughly my number of subscribers. They're on 14k subscribers. So what I think I will do, what I said to the stream is I'll listen to it. Because for me, something like this, it's not a case of... I only want to do it if it sounds interesting, if it sounds useful, if it sounds fun. So... it's not a case of, okay, it'd be great in theory if some bigger YouTuber would do something. That would give me lots of exposure. But in actual fact, there are people even in that bracket that I would turn down because I don't think it would go very well. I can't think of anything useful to do together. So what I'll do is I'll go with this. I'll say, well, if it's one of those things where it might be interesting, then you never know. I'm not going to dismiss it out of hand. But it just seemed really, really weird because the email itself is very poor. There's no name given. When I looked on their channel, I noticed it's 2 people, which is always great. I mean, that's something I'm envious of, these people who can have 2 people doing like a talk show together. It's always better when you can do stuff like that. But I do notice one of them's a gnome. So I also then, given that, wonder if they're really big. You know, what I may be wondering is, have they just randomly emailed loads of people on significant but not lots of subscribers, so they're not aiming too high, in the hopes of just getting someone there, and they're only going to be doing it for the purposes of exposure. So that's why they have done a few podcasts already. So I'll listen to a few of them over this week, and then I'll sort of reply back to them, and we'll sort of see from there. But I'm going to put a link to, you know, one of their videos down below, so other people can have a look. You tell me what you think as well. You comment what you think of it. Would it be something worth doing? Because if I'm honest, I'm probably not going to get time to listen to a lot of it until the next weekend anyway. I'll probably send them a holding email in the meantime, just sort of saying I'll give their stuff a look over and get back to them, rather than just be rude and say nothing until that time. So that's basically what's happening with me at the moment. There's no real progress on Mythic Argus. We have had, you know, a little bit of progress compared to last week, but it's slow going. It'll get there in the end. It's not a time pressure thing. It does make me a little bit worried for next expansion, I have to say, though, because there's quite, unless, I mean, we're not able to recruit, or we're not recruiting, and there are quite a number of people that don't really seem up for the raiding of it. Like, there's people who actively try and get out of Mythic Progress. It's like, this is the last boss, why? So, you know, that one's going more slowly than it could do. But there you go. That's a problem to worry about when there's more time pressure when Battle for Azeroth comes around. So anyway, thanks for listening. Any comments on anything, any ideas, obviously, put them below. Until next time, I'll see you later.